so loved the world, that he gave
that
his
he
only
gave his
Son,
only
that
begotten
whosoever
Son, that
believeth
believeth
in
in him
him should
should
not
not
perish,
perish,
but have
but have
everlasting life.
everlasting life.
What is up, peoples? I hope everything is well with you right now, and please sub peoples. I really love that line. But as promised, this video is going to be about the nature of evil, and I kind of broke it down for you so it could be really simple and for you to be able to understand it. So I will be explaining 3 things of how to actually understand the nature of evil and 3 characteristics of evil that's extremely important. But before we get into all of that, we have to understand something about evil first. We cannot understand evil without having the backdrop of good, meaning that we can't understand evil without understanding what is good. So now that that's out there, let's get right into it. So evil is an action, just like love is an action. Evil is an action. It is not an independent source that acts on its own will. It is not an independent being. It solely relies on other people to exist. You can describe it as a parasite, kind of. A parasite needs a host, but without that host, the parasite cannot live. This is the same thing with evil. Evil does not exist if people don't do evil. But because people do evil, evil then exists in this world. So the very first thing I want to tell you is that we can understand evil through the process of negation. Negation is understanding what something is not. So evil, as described in the Bible, is unholy. It is not holy. It is unjust. It is not just. It is unrighteous. It is not righteous. Evil is all of these things. It is not what is good. So evil is not good. It's the exact opposite of what is good. The second thing is we can understand evil through privation. So privation is the lack of or deprivation of something. So if we're thinking about nutrients in the human body, we could say that someone has a lack of nutrients in their body, and of course that body then rots, decays, and eventually it leads to death. The same thing goes with evil, but we call this process sin because the definition of sin is the lack of conforming to God's law. That's what sin basically is. It's the lack of conforming to God's law. So when we don't do what is good, we are doing what is evil. It's the lack of privation. That's what that is. And then active privation, the third thing, active privation is simply just realizing that evil exists. It is real, and that people experience the consequences, the pain and suffering of evil every single day. So that's actual privation. And you can sit in that and really, really think about the consequences of evil. It's real. We've all experienced and we've all done it as well. So those are 3 things to understanding the nature of evil. And then the next 3 things, which is evil is objective, evil it grows, and evil is unnatural. So evil is objective. Many people will have a hard time understanding this, but it's pretty simple and clear cut to me, and I'm going to try my best to explain it to you. So the definition of objective is, it is definition of objective. I know it. It's just not coming to my head right now. Okay. If something is objective, it means that it exists independently of what we think or how we feel about it. It's a fact. It is absolute truth. Point blank, period. It exists independently of what people or things think or feel about it. So that's what objective means. So right now, I'm sitting in a chair. That's an objective fact, no matter how or what I think about it, or how or what you think or feel about it. So I'm sitting in this chair. That's an objective fact. That's the same thing with evil. If someone does something evil, it is evil no matter what we think about it or not. And also along those lines, how can we determine what is good and what is evil? And we determine this by the moral law that we all have. There is a moral law that we all abide by, and I don't care what other people say, they still abide by this moral law, whether they want to accept it or not. So it kind of goes like this. If a person claims that there is evil in the world, they also have to claim that there is good in the world. And if there's good in the world, then there has to be a moral law to distinguish what is good and what is bad. And if there's a moral law, there must be a moral law giver. Now, how do we get from moral law to moral law giver? Well, it goes like this. Every time someone brings up the problem of evil, they're bringing it up about themselves or about a person. And when you do this, you're presupposing that people are valuable. And the only way that a person becomes valuable is if they have an independent source of unlimited worth to give them their value. And this independent source we call God. And God is also the lawgiver that gives us the moral law, that gives us objectivity and gives us truth. So that's the moral law, and that's the logic behind it. So the second thing is evil is it grows. A quick illustration of this. A guy named John, he really wanted something, but he couldn't afford it. So he came up with this plan in his head to make fake money in order to get the things that he wanted. So he made the fake money, and then he was so excited about it that he told his friends about it, and then one of his friends went out and also used the fake money, and then the cashier caught the guy using the fake money, called the police, and the police officer knelt on his neck for about 9 minutes and killed his friend. Evil creates opportunities to do more evil. In this example, it all started from a situation in that person's heart to get something that they couldn't have. And then that moved into the head of an idea, an evil idea, and then that moved into an evil action, which created an opportunity to then more evil actions, as in telling friends about this evil thing that he came up with. And now one of the friends decided to do the same evil that his friend was doing, and went out, got caught, got the police called on him, and then that created the opportunity for an evil officer to then commit murder. It all stems from something. Evil creates opportunities for more evil to exist. So evil creates opportunities. And last but not least, evil is unnatural. So God created this world. He created people perfectly and in all goodness for the purpose to live a full and abundant life for eternity. Evil is the opposite of that. Through negation, it's not life. It is not good. Evil leads to death. It leads to pain, and it leads to suffering. Unnecessary pain and suffering. Pain and suffering that stems from evil actions. It is hate. It is racism. It is discrimination. It is murder. It is rape. It is lying. It is stealing. It is adultery. It is all forms of sexual immorality. It is everything that's bad that leads to death, that leads to pain and suffering, especially on other individuals. It is not loving. It is not justice. It is not holy at all. And it is the exact opposite of what God had planned for us in the beginning. It is not natural. It works against human nature. But there is hope, and I cannot finish a video without saying this name, Jesus. So, the only way we can have that eternal life now that we've all committed evil actions, is for God to literally destroy our evil nature and leave us with pure goodness. And this goodness we can experience in heaven with him. And all we have to do is to believe in Jesus, believe that he raised on the third day, and accept him as Lord and try our best while we're still here on earth to follow him. That's all we have to do. Literally all we have to do. And then once we die, he does away with our evil nature, and then we experience all goodness in heaven with him for eternity. No evil, no death, no pain, no suffering. Just love, joy, peace, and everything good that you can possibly imagine. That's it. Now, if you don't accept Jesus, the very opposite will happen. You die, and you go to hell, simply because you wanted to go there. So, you go to hell and live the purest form of evil that you could possibly live for the rest of eternity. And that is what will happen. But I don't want you to go there, so I want you to go to heaven. That's why I'm making this video. So, believe in Jesus and let him do away with your evil nature so that you can experience heaven with him, with me, with other people, your brothers and sisters in Christ. It's going to be amazing, I promise. So that is the essence of evil. We can understand evil through negation, privation, and active privation. And then we have to understand and we have to know that evil is objective. Rape is objectively wrong. Murder is objectively wrong. Lying is objectively wrong. Adultery is objectively wrong. All forms of sexual immorality outside of marriage is objectively wrong. If you try to make it a subjective opinion, basically, it means something different to everyone. Then you're saying that, oh, well, Hitler didn't consider murdering millions of people wrong. I mean, it's just his opinion, so I can't really have anything to say about that. That's exactly what you're opening the door to if you say that the moral law is subjective. It is not subjective, and people have to own up to the evil that they do. And then evil is unnatural, and also evil grows. It opens the doors to more opportunities to do evil. So I hope I see you in my next video. Please subscribe and comment, like, share this video. Do whatever you have to do to get the message across to people so that they can live in the truth. That's one of the things that I value, that people live by the truth. And I would be doing more videos on evil very soon, so be tuned to that. Every Thursday and every Sunday I will be posting a video. So I hope to see you in my next video.